Hello everyone. This video we will learn about PERT, Project Evaluation Review Technique, a technique which is used for analyzing network. It's a part of project management. Okay. So today we will learn about how we can get the time estimate for the PERT and the mean and standard deviation and variance of the PERT analysis. Okay. So PERT, as I already told you, it's a project evaluation or program evaluation review technique. So PERT is a technique which is evolved over a period of time. So this was first introduced by US Navy for a missile project. Okay. So generally PERT is used for a new project where we don't have any idea about what are the time estimates for our activity. Suppose if I'm doing a new project, suppose take case of a missile project. So many of the things are already similar to the previous missile projects pertaining to the space mission, but many of the things could be new. The new technologies will come, so the new machines will be used. New kind of passenger launching will be happening. So many things we might not be knowing. So if I want to solve a problem or if I want to estimate the project completion time, so it will not be that much easy for me to do that thing. So what we'll do in PERT is we will find out the time estimates. So PERT is actually using a probabilistic approach rather than a deterministic approach. So in the case of CPM, where the critical path method which we use, we assumes that all the time estimates for activities are very certain. Since we are already prior experience in those activities, so we could able to complete the time. Suppose if I want to erect a pillar for a bridge, so we know how much time it will take if my labor is this much, and if I am doing in this era of time, if it's in the rainy season, how much it will be. If it's not in the rainy season, how much it will be. Since we already have the prior experience. But for a space mission, since we don't have a prior estimate, we have to estimate with the probabilistic and statistical approach. Okay. So generally, PERT is used for new projects and new products when it is being marketed, where it is very difficult to estimate the time for various activities. Sometimes in a new project, even the activities can also be changed because the project is moving in some direction, but for some reasons it would have been changed. Okay, in those cases also it will be difficult for us to find out for the new situation. Okay, so how we will estimate those time or the time, how can we calculate the total completion time in a PERT analysis? So PERT uses a probabilistic approach with 3 time estimates. So these 3 time estimates are known as the optimistic time, most likely time, and pessimistic time. So optimistic time is the time by which an activity can happen with all the certainties and all the things going right. Suppose if for giving an example, suppose if I want to travel from Calicut to Delhi and I have to attend a conference in Delhi. Okay, I want to reach the conference venue. So today I'm starting. I'm going to from the house. I will start from my house. I will get a cab to reach Calicut airport, and from there I will get a flight. I have already booked the flight, so I will go to the Delhi airport. From where I will get another cab to reach the destination. Okay, suppose this is the case. Now think about it. Since we are not certain about our traffic and getting a cab, so getting a cab also it will be very difficult. So I will. So the what is the most optimistic case, or everything is happening right? So just after just when I am ready for my drive, or when I am ready for traveling, I get a cab. Then there is no traffic in the road. I will go to the railway station. Not the railway station, the airport. From the airport, everything is happening on time. I could able to check in on the right time, and my flight is also not delayed, or it's under schedule. Then I will reach Delhi on time. Maybe 3 hours or 4 hours of travel is there, and then I get my baggages from the airport, and then I will get out of the airport. Then from there also I will get the cab in time, and I'm reaching the destination on time, right? So this is happening, means there is no delay in anywhere, and there is no problem which is happening. So this is known as the optimistic time. Now, what is the pessimistic time? Pessimistic is just the opposite of this thing, optimistic. Where when I get out of my house, I'm not getting a cab for half an hour. Then I get a cab. Then when I reached airport, I came to know that my flight is delayed. With the delayed flight, I reached Delhi late, and then what will happen? What could happen? Maybe my baggages may be stuck. So I have to wait another half an hour to check out where my baggage goes and clear that thing. Then getting out of the airport, I'm not getting a cab to reach my destination. So which means that I will take much longer time than the optimistic time, right? So this is known as the pessimistic time. Everything is happening wrong. What could be the by what time I could reach there? Now, most likely time is the general time. Sometimes when I get out of this thing, maybe I have to wait for 10 minutes. Then I get the cab, and the slight traffic will be there. So I'm getting late by 5 minutes in the drive. Then maybe my flight is also a bit delayed. Maybe half an hour delay is there. After that, I could able to reach there, but my baggage is not coming. But I get that thing. Okay, maybe 10-15 minutes will be going on that. And after that, maybe I could wait for maybe 10-15 minutes to get a cab, and the traffic in Delhi makes me another loss of 10 or 15 minutes. So this is the most likely time where normal things happen. Okay, with these three estimates, we have to find out what is the time estimate for an activity. So PERT actually assumes, even though these three time estimate, first assumes that my probability of reaching there is following a beta distribution. Okay, so beta distribution curve look like this. Even though it's looking like a normal curve. So there are three time estimates, which is this is the optimistic time, this is the most likely time, and pessimistic time. You can see that in the y-axis, the probability of occurrence is given. In the x-axis, possible duration is given. You can know, you can understand that optimistic time is the shortest time by which we can reach, and the longest time will be given by the pessimistic time, and most likely time will be somewhere in between. Okay, and if you can see, the probability of occurrence is for the optimistic and pessimistic time, the probability of occurrence is very low, right? We may not be able to means everything will not happen according to our plan, and everything will not be that much worse in the case of pessimistic as well, right? So the probability of occurrence is very low, where the most probability of occurrence is for the most likely time. Okay, so to calculate the our estimated time or the average time, we will use a weighted average approach. In this weighted average approach, the more weightage will be given for the most likely time, whereas equal weightage will be given for optimistic and pessimistic time. So we use this formula: optimistic plus 4 times most likely time plus pessimistic divided by 6 will give you the average time for an activity. Now, since in the example, I'm not talking about an activity, but generally it is done for each and every activity. Okay. Now this is the time estimate. Suppose if I'm giving if TE is the expected time for an activity, so TE can be computed based on TO. TO is the optimistic time plus 4 times TM plus pessimistic time TP divided by 6. Okay. So using this formula, we could be able to calculate all the time estimates for activities. Now, since it's a probabilistic approach, there could be variance. So the variance formula is also given by this one. So variance will be equal to TP, the pessimistic time minus optimistic time divided by 6 whole square. So this is this formula we will use to calculate the variance. Now, once you get the variance, computation of standard deviation is easy. So just take the square root of variance. You will get the sigma. Generally, sigma is calculated for the critical path, not only for a particular activity. So in those cases, we will take the root mean square value of the variance. So the activities in the critical path will be taken. Their variance will be added, and the root will be taken for the computation of sigma. It's not like you can take the sigma for each each activity, the standard deviation of each activity, and can be added. No, the variance can be added. Then it is summed. Means it is taken the square root and get the sigma value for that thing. Okay, let's work it out with an example. In this PERT analysis, so we have given activities like A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and also the presiding activity is also given, from which we have to construct the network. Now, this example, we are not going for the details of the construction of network. That we'll discuss in the some other classes. So now also we have given the optimistic time, most likely time, and pessimistic time for individual activities. Now we have to get the estimated time and the variance. Right. So just I will write down the formula. So it will be TP TE formula that we have just learned. TE will be equal to TO plus 4 times TM plus TP divided by 6. Also, if for simplicity you can write this as A and this as B and this as M, then it will be A plus 4M plus B divided by 6, and our variance value will be equal to T P minus TO divided by 6, which is also known as B minus A divided by 6. So using this formula, we can compute. So let's compute for each activity. So what will be for A? It will be 4 times 3, 2 plus 4 times 3 plus 10. So 12 plus 12, 24. 24 divided by 6. 24 divided by 6 will give you 4. Here it will be 2 into 4 times 3 plus 4. So 4 times 3 will be 12. 12 plus 6, 18. 18 divided by 6 will be 3. Here it will be 4 into 2, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 divided by 6 will give you 2. 6 into 4, 6 into 4, 24 plus 4, 28 plus 10, 38 plus 4, it will be 42. 42 divided by 6 will give you 7. 5 into 4, 20. 20 plus 20 plus 12, 32. 32 plus 6, 4 will be 36. 36 divided by 6 will give you 6. 4 into 5, 4 into 4, 16. 16 plus 8, 24. 24 divided by 6 will give you 4. 1 into 4, 4. 4 plus 8 will give you 12. 12 divided by 6 will give you 2. So these are the time estimates. Now you can draw the network and you can put that time. So let's find out the variance also. So variance is nothing but TP minus TO divided by 6. So or B minus A divided by 6. So this will be 10 minus 2, 8. 8 divided by 6. Oh, whole square is also there. Don't forget that whole square, whole square. So 8 divided by 6, or you can also write as you can cut 1 0 from that, and how much it will be 4 divided by 3, 4 by 3 whole square, 4 by 3 whole square. Now this one 2, 4 minus 2, this will be 2. 2 divided by 6 means 1 by 3 whole square. This is 2. 3 minus 1, 2. 2 by 6 means 1 by 3 whole square. Now 14 minus 4, 10. 10 by 3, which will be equal to 5 by 10 by 6 is 5 by 3 whole square. This will be 12 minus 4, which will be 12 minus 4, 8. So it will be 4 by 3 whole square. It will be 2 by 6, 1 by 3 whole square. It will be 7 minus 1, 6, 6 minus 6 whole square. No, it will be 6 by 6 whole square, so it will be 1. So you can compute it or just write 14 by 9, 1 by 9, 1 by 9, 25 by 9, 16 by 9, 1 by 9, and 1. This is how you can compute the this thing. So let's demonstrate the standard deviation also. For that, I will draw the network very fast. So network, since A and B does not have any activity, we can start A and B as it is. So this will be my A and this will be my B. This is consuming how much time? Time it will be TE 4, and for B it will be 3. Now we can solve it as a CPM analysis only. So C and D starts from A, E is from B, and C, F is done, and D and E is there. So let B be there. So from A, C and D starts from A, E is from C, E and D merges. Okay. So let it be C, D and E merges. So this is D. D how much? 7. C is how much? 2. So this is my E or E. E from B and merges with D, and how much it will be? 6. This is E6. Now E, D and D merges to give G. This is my G. G is 2. And from C, F is started, and you have to finish it, complete it with this is F. How much it will be? F is 4. So this is my network. Now I have to find out the possible paths. So possible paths are A, C, F, A, D, G, and B, E, G. So how much will be the length of this path? 4 plus 4 plus 2. 6 plus 2, 10. 4 plus 7. It will be 11 plus 2, 13. 3 plus 2 plus 6. 5 plus 2, 11. So the maximum is ADG. This is the critical path. So ADG is the critical path, A, B, and G. Okay. Now we have to calculate the sigma, standard deviation of critical path. So we have to find out variance of each path. So sigma A square plus sigma G square plus sigma G or D square. Okay. So we have already calculated the sigma values, sigma square values for this one. So A will be 14 by 9. Then G will be 1, and D is here 25 by 9. So sigma for this critical path will be root of 14 by 9 plus 1 plus 25 by 9. So 25, 26, 30, 40. 40 by 9. Root of 40 by 9 will be my standard deviation of the critical path. Well, this is how you compute the or do the estimate in the case of PERT. Okay.